Alright guys, so I'm recording this like right before I go to work. So yeah, but I just had to get it out of my mind. So you guys might know I'm currently doing San Diego Comic Con like plots. Right? Like plots for the movies. This one, if you can't tell by the title, is Superman Batman. Most likely it will be called Batman Superman, but it should be Superman Batman because it's taking the slot of Man of Steel 2. But yeah, so I'm just gonna call it World's Finest because it should be called World's Finest. And then the one with Wonder Woman should be called Trinity. One of my favorite DC graphic novels I have is Trinity. I thought I did a really good job. Maybe I'll review it sometime. But anyways, the plot I think is gonna start off with Lex Luthor and Bruce Wayne coming together to rebuild Metropolis because they're both multi-billionaires, and it's gonna take two multi-billionaires to rebuild what Superman did in Metropolis against Zod. So essentially, what I think is going to happen is with that, Lex Luthor is going to make a smear campaign against Superman, because if any time to do it, it would be now when a lot of people are probably have been killed or injured from that battle, and it's very easy. And because I know Lois Lane is obviously going to support Superman, she's going to be like, "Oh, Superman, Superman, I love Superman. He's a good guy, Superman." But against someone like Lex Luthor, the guy who's rebuilding Metropolis, I think most people are going to side with him, initially at least, because obviously you'll be proven wrong throughout the movie. But, so I think what's going to happen is he's going to start a smear campaign and be like, "Oh, this alien, look at all the destruction he caused, traditional Lex Luthor stuff." And I also think he's going to be the guy who creates kryptonite. I think he's going to synthetically make it to hurt Superman. I think he's going to, because, alright, what happened to Zod's corpse? They didn't show anything happening to it. It's perfectly plausible that they take his corpse, right, and basically analyze it, find out what against kryptonite, like what would hurt his biology, like what type of radiation, weapons, etc. And once they get to radiation, most likely they'll be like, "Oh, this special type of radiation hurts Kryptonians a lot," and that is where kryptonite will be coming from, I'm assuming. Now, they go with a lot of villains. Obviously, they're going to need some sort of superhuman threat to physically hurt Superman in some way. I'm guessing they could easily go with Metallo. Such an easy route. You could have a guy who got critically hurt from the battle of Superman and Zod. Because, a lot of people obviously got hurt, as we saw Jenny Olsen, for example, was very, very, like, she was about to die if it wasn't, a few seconds later into that fight in Metropolis, she could have died easily. A lot of people probably did die easily in that fight, and I'm assuming a few people like John Corbin could have been, just critically injured. And because a lot of times our villains have to be sympathetic in some way, have his family, killed too, have the two kids killed, the dog killed, and the wife. How about that? So have them killed, and he'll blame Superman for that, obviously, because that's what a villain does. So our sympathetic Metallo now is, I guess, not volunteering per se, but he's probably not saying no to the chance of doing something to himself that will allow him to hurt Superman. And I'm guessing from there, that's where we get Metallo, and hopefully that will be in the movie. I'm totally up for that. I think it'll be fine. Metallo needs a live action treatment, because I think probably the best treatment he's had so far in a live action way is Smallville, and that's not saying much. So yeah. But anyways, scaringly, it sounds like the whole Batman Superman thing is going to take a big kind of background inspiration from The Dark Knight Returns, which it shouldn't, because a big part of The Dark Knight Returns was Batman versus, and there was a total political undertone to it too, but there was at least, a tensity, like there was history between Clark and Bruce. They were like best friends. It's like there was build up to it. This has no build up to it. So it wouldn't make sense. Like the fight wouldn't mean anything, at least nearly not as much as it does in The Dark Knight Returns. Thus, I think they should totally stay away from that. Like obviously, it's like superhero code. When two heroes meet each other, they have to fight. Even Avengers did that. So I will admit it. It's in like every team up ever conceivable. But I think they need to do it in a way where it's not like in The Dark Knight Returns, because that is totally crazy to what they did. Like Batman pretty much went uber Batman, and compared to what it looks like, they want to do a lot of Nolan-esque Batman stuff, which they can't do, because the Batman that would have to stand a chance against Superman would have to be the Batman that has like several doctorates, knows just about every martial arts you could think of under the sun, and then some underground. He has to be the Batman that uses gadgets a lot in his, Batman activity. He has to be the Batman that really, does detective work and is a genius. Like, this cannot be the Batman that knows a little bit about detective work, uses the Bat computer a lot, tells Alfred to search everything. Then when he's doing detective work, it's really him asking the people where somebody is or what are they doing. So this has to be, the Batman that's 1,000 steps ahead of you from the get-go. This cannot be the Batman that Nolan showed. No offense to Nolan's Batman, but that would not work at all against a character like Superman in a fight. Like, this has to be the goddamn Batman. So it can't be Batman. It has to be Batman. So yeah, they have to use that incarnation of Batman that I think is the most popular Batman. I think everyone loves that Batman because in Batman versus Captain America fights, everyone's like, oh, but Batman knows 1,001 martial arts. And then against like Iron Man, everyone's like, oh, Batman knows everything. So as you can see, everybody wants Batman to do and be able to do everything. They don't want him being limited to, like one type of martial arts from the League of Shadows, even though they're supposed to be called the League of Assassins. And yeah. So anyways, they have to go with the traditional Batman that's like uber everything you could think of for a person to be. So I think a way they could do that is take a nod from the Smallville Superman versus Batman fight, which was in the comic books for Smallville season 11. But it was genius because what happened was Batman was analyzing Superman the entire time, and he especially made his like armor because most likely they're gonna go with the armor. So Batman in his like armor allowed like the bat symbol on his chest to emit radiation. So during the whole fight, he was emitting red solar radiation, which totally obviously weakened Superman. And then he could also logically emit green kryptonite radiation. He was able to emit yellow sun radiation to rejuvenate Superman. So I think they should really go with that because that would give Batman a very strategical edge against Superman that would make it somewhat plausible that Batman wouldn't just die instantly against Superman. So I think that would be really cool if they do that. Obviously, they're going to join forces. I would like them to really have Lex Luthor not as like a fat idiot on a COO chair or CEO chair for LexCorp. I want him to be the genius mastermind, like let's say intelligence equivalent to Batman. Like let's say Superman is the brawn, Lex Luthor would be like the brain. Like they're like two separate coins of the same thing. Like they both want to protect the world, but they have different views of doing it, and they have different different strengths for doing it. Superman can use his body to do it. Lex Luthor can use his mind to do it. So that's what I'm hoping they're going for here. Basically, how I think the plot will turn out after the whole Batman Superman fight. They decide to join forces. Lex Luthor will probably use the whole destruction of Metropolis to do very corrupt stuff, like make Metallo, for example, to hopefully. What he'll probably do is he'll probably send Metallo against Superman with the intent of more destruction to just prove that Superman is either A, causing all these weird ass like characters to come out of nowhere, or B, causing more destruction in Metropolis than the people of Metropolis want. So I'm hoping that happens. I probably mentioned the whole Batman owning in comic books the Daily Planet and Clark Kent's apartment, but just in case I didn't say it, because this is like my 4th time recording this, I hope when they rebuild Metropolis, Bruce Wayne becomes the owner of the Daily Planet and he becomes the owner of Clark Kent's apartment, because that would be an awesome nod to comics. Even though it's such a minimal thing in comics, I think it'd be an awesome thing to kind of nod to. And with that being said, though, overall, Lex Luthor will be defeated. I think Batman, it'd be a perfect time for him to use his detective skills, really show his detective skills by him discovering all of, like him doing obviously detective work and discovering Lex Luthor's kind of corrupt things, his corrupt business deals, etc. And he could obviously, he can kind of use, his Bruce Wayne persona as like, hey, we looked at your records, kind of like he did in The Dark Knight when he went to Hong Kong and he basically exploited that dude's illegal records, pretty much. They could be like, hey, during our business venture, we found out some kind of iffy things, and we report it to the authorities, or we decide, we're just not going to do business with you anymore. So that's how they can handle that situation with Lex Luthor. And then you can have, obviously, they prove that Metallo is a byproduct of Lex Luthor, and then Lex Luthor gets tried. Obviously, he'll have the best lawyers ever, so he'll get off. And yeah, that's how you can start the whole major Lex Luthor Superman grudge and do Batman Superman. In my opinion, keyword opinion. Comment below with your guys' thoughts, what you guys would like to do. I probably rambled a bit. I am sorry. I'm just trying to get all of my ideas out there before I have to go to work, which is, wow, I'm going to be late probably. But this is worth it because I love you guys. I love doing this comic book stuff. So this is Hybrid. Please subscribe, comment, and like, and I'll see you guys later.